Okay, let's do this. It's honestly like a really good month. Like there's a lot of 8, 9, and like 10 out of 10s. But before we get started, we must caffeinate. I am about a week behind in getting this video done. I was actually on vacation the last week of July, so I didn't have time to film this video, but better late than never, right? So let's get into everything I watched in the month of July. And honestly, this was like a really good month for movies and things. I didn't have as much time to watch as many things, but now that I'm like looking at my list, I'm like, I actually kind of watched a lot. So this is both movies and TV shows that I watched in the month of July. And their ratings, what I rated them out of 10. And honestly, there's like a lot of like 9s and 10s on this list. So the first thing, like literally I think I watched this movie July 1st. And that is the Eras Tour. So exciting! And it's obviously a 10 out of 10. I love this concert movie so much. Obviously, Taylor Swift is just amazing. I love her music so much. I personally am a Speak Now / Lover girly. Like those are my favorite eras. So the first like 30 minutes of the concert is my favorite, and I will say I've watched probably the first 30 minutes over and over and over again because Fearless is like my third favorite. I can't decide between Speak Now and Lover. Those are like tied for 1 and 2, and then Fearless. I got to see this movie in theaters when it came out, and I loved it. And honestly, one of my biggest regrets in life is that I actually didn't get to go to the concert. I feel like it was like such like a core girlhood moment that I missed out on. And I am like, you wouldn't be able to tell this based on what I currently wear. I have like 2 sides to me, and one side is my like, I love loungewear, I love leggings, sweats, comfy t-shirts, and that's probably what I wear like 90% of the time. The other half of me is like ball gowns, sparkly crowns, glitter, like the girliest girly girl on planet Earth. So the fact that I missed the Eras Tour is kind of heartbreaking for that like girly side of me, because I have so many like outfit ideas in my head that I would have like loved to put together and like wear to the concert. Anyways, it would have been awesome. Maybe one day in the future I will do a video of like what I would have worn to the Eras Tour. Because I honestly just feel like I need to execute some of these outfits. That is besides the point. I watched the Eras Tour in July on Disney+. 10 out of 10. It's amazing. The second movie I watched in July was Ocean's 8 with Sandra Bullock and Cate Blanchett. And it was amazing. And this cast is also loaded. Like, has so many people in it. And I thought it was really good. I give it like an 8.5 out of 10. I personally really enjoy this movie. I know not a lot of people like this movie. I don't think it has like a great score on Rotten Tomatoes. Anyways, not a lot of people liked this movie because they are like such huge fans of the original Ocean's movies. And I am about to admit on the internet a crime that I have against movies, and that is that I have never seen the original Ocean's movies. It is on my list. It is on my to watch list. And I will probably watch that with my husband before the end of the year, just because I need to watch it. But anyways, I really like Ocean's 8. I like the heist that they pull. And like I just mentioned, I am like that second side of me that's girly, sparkly, glittery. The fact that they like pull off this heist at the Met Gala, I just like couldn't help but like love that. And they're like stealing diamonds. Anyways, I just think it's fun. It's just fun. Sandra Bullock, Cate Blanchett, Anne Hathaway, Mindy Kaling, Rihanna, Awkwafina. It's just crazy. It's a crazy cast. I know I'm missing a lot of people, but it's just great. Next movie I watched was Pixels with Adam Sandler. and a lot of other people as well. This cast was also like very loaded. And I had never seen this. This movie came out quite a few years ago, and me and my husband had never seen it. So for movie night one night, we decided to watch it on Disney Plus, and I wasn't like the most impressed. It was an original concept, which I liked. There were so many crude jokes that it just felt like were so unnecessary, especially with it being like a kid's movie. I don't know, it was just, I just did not love it. I didn't love it. It was a little forgettable and not great, kind of half-baked. So I gave it a 4 out of 10. Let me know what you think. Have you seen Pixels? I'm not the biggest video game person, so I know there were like a lot of references that I missed, but I didn't feel like that's what like detracted from the movie for me. It was more of like the jokes didn't land great. I didn't care for a lot of the jokes they put in the movie. Like I didn't think they were very funny at points. Adam Sandler is hands down the best character. All the other characters are just kind of lame. Like no one's very redeemable. They're not very likable. It's kind of sad. Anyways, 4 out of 10. Okay, and the next TV show that started in July was Bachelor in Paradise. And I am a huge Bachelor franchise fan. Like huge. I think the first Bachelor season I watched was Sean Lowe, and I was hooked, and I have not missed a Bachelor or Bachelorette season or Bachelor in Paradise or Golden Bachelor season since that season. I don't know what year that was, but it's been a long time. It's been a huge part of my life. So Bachelor in Paradise started, and it is very different than any other Bachelor in Paradise season that has come before it. It just kind of feels like they took themselves really seriously this season and kind of tried to compete with other summer dating reality shows such as Love Island. And it kind of feels like they tried to go that route this season, and I have to say I just don't love it. So I've rated Bachelor in Paradise a 6 out of 10 so far for the episodes I've watched. The intro is like a new remixed synthesized version of the original song. The intro clips of each cast member are like really serious and they're all trying to be really sexy, whereas other previous seasons they were kind of cutesy and like hilarious and kind of played up on like things they were known for. Kind of felt, I know it's not this style, but it kind of felt like Brady Bunch style. I know that's not it, but like that was the vibe. Anyways, I just feel like this season they've really tried to take themselves too seriously. It's a new resort. There's like now games, like relationship games involved, and now there's a cash money prize, which I just hate. I felt like in the past you could kind of believe people fell in love in a month on an island resort. Now, so far, we've had like 6 or 7 weeks of the show, and they've only been in paradise for 13 days, and there's like a money prize. I just feel like it really is not as good as past seasons. However, I do still love watching it, and the cast members I feel like have been really great and fun, and there are some relationships I am really rooting for, so I gave it a 6 out of 10. Okay, the next movie, I am actually like so excited to talk about this movie because it is a hidden gem, and that is The Tomorrow War. This is an Amazon Prime original. Came out a couple years ago. I watched it about a year ago for the first time and just thought it was incredible. So my husband and I decided to rewatch it again this month for a movie night, and we literally still loved it as much as the first time. It has such great writing and such a good original plot, fantastic plot twist, and it was just very, very good. I don't feel like it was like too predictable. People might disagree with me on that, but I was thoroughly entertained the whole movie, which is hard nowadays. I feel like movies struggle holding audiences' attention, but this movie held my attention the whole time, and it did the second time as well. Chris Pratt, 10 out of 10. He's amazing. I will watch anything with Chris Pratt in it, and this movie is no exception. It is so, so good. It's like if you haven't heard of it, it is a sci-fi kind of time travel movie. So basically humans from the future have to come to the past. Their aliens have invaded in the future and we're losing the war. So they have to come to the past to recruit more humans because the death toll is so high and they are running out of soldiers. Crazy original concept. I love it. I love new original concepts that you've never seen for movies before. Anyways, so Chris Pratt gets recruited. He has to travel to the future to help defeat aliens, and it is fantastic. It's a great kick butt alien movie if you like that. I call them, they're kind of like the standalone movies that are really entertaining, not part of a franchise, but I really love. I call them popcorn flicks. So if you hear me reference popcorn flicks, that's what I'm talking about. This is a fantastic popcorn flick. Just a movie you turn on because you want to be entertained, be brainless for a little bit, and just watch a good movie. The Tomorrow War. I gave it a 9 out of 10 because it was so good. All right, the next movie is Revenge of the Bridesmaids, and I discovered this movie when I was in college. It has Raven-Symoné and Joanna Garcia. But I just love her so much, especially like Joanna. She's in one of my favorite TV shows, The Sweet Magnolias on Netflix. And obviously I love Raven so much. Huge fan of That's a Raven and Raven. And so I discovered this movie when I was in college, just like randomly on a streaming service, and I just fell in love with it. And so if you don't know what it is, it follows this group of 4 friends when they're really little, and then they grow up. One of them is really spoiled and gets everything she wants. Then there's Raven and Joanna. They're both really ambitious. They move away from their small town, but then their 4th friend is the sweetest angel, and she stays in their hometown, meets a guy, falls in love. They're gonna get married. Well, come to find out that the spoiled friend actually ended up stealing that boyfriend from the sweet friend. So Raven and Joanna end up becoming bridesmaids for the spoiled friend, and they try to ruin the wedding and break up the marriage. Very enjoyable. I gave it an 8 out of 10 just because there's kind of a nostalgia factor for me because I like discovered it in college and it was like kind of a comfort movie for me. I love any movies that have a wedding in them or are based around a wedding, so I really like this movie. It's great. And this movie was highly anticipated for the month of July, and that is Zombies 4. Zombies 4 came out on Disney Plus this month, and I was so excited. I am a huge Zombies franchise fan. I love Zed and Addison and Milo Manheim and Meg Donnelly playing those characters. I love them. So I was very excited. That being said, I was fairly disappointed with the movie. I was just really disappointed. It just didn't like hit the Zombies level that I felt like it should have. And I know it's a Disney Channel movie. And there is no hate to Disney Channel movies because I actually love Disney Channel original movies, DCOMs. I think they're amazing, and I have a lot of videos that are coming out that we will like rank, rate, and deep dive into a lot of DCOMs. So it's like a part of my identity. So needless to say, I had high expectations, but the writing just wasn't great. I felt like the exploration of the new monster species was not great, and like defining who they were. The whole lore of the vampires versus the daywalkers was that they were all fighting over this one fruit, and because they were fighting over the fruit, they decided to live away from the fruit and lock themselves in their towns. Huh? I was like, what? That makes no sense at all. And maybe I missed something, but I was just like, you're telling me that these feuding towns willingly left their food supply and chose to lock themselves away? Anyways, it was just very strange. And then I just felt like Meg and Milo's hearts weren't in it completely, or their scripts they were given were just pretty terrible because some of the lines that were delivered were not great. And there was like a plot that I felt like if they would have ran with it, it would have been awesome, and that would have been the Z-bands and like monster things that keep them in check, like being destroyed so that they were like losing their humanity. Oh, if they would have ran with that storyline, I think it would have been incredible. because there is a part where Zed's Z-band is failing and he is afraid he's never going to turn human again, and it's really emotional. I just wish that would have been the whole plot, because it's this really small part at the end, and it kind of felt like a subplot, and so it didn't really get the like heart that it deserved. The music was not the best. The choreography was laughable. I feel terrible saying all this because I really am a huge fan of this franchise, and I actually know a lot of people who loved this movie, and so I very much feel like I'm in the minority here. I will say the two new main characters that I think this movie was really trying to introduce, and they did well. They have a duet that I really liked. I thought was really pretty. But other than that, it just wasn't great. It just wasn't it for me. So I literally gave it a 1 out of 10. A 1! And there's an end scene where Meg and Zed and Addison are like dancing and singing their song Ain't No Doubt About It from the third movie. And can we just talk about how it was, one, such a missed opportunity to not sing Someday, which is their like iconic duet from the first movie, and two, I felt like Zed and Addison should have gotten engaged. Unpopular opinion, but Mal and Ben get engaged in Descendants, and I just feel like Zed and Addison have a much stronger relationship than them, so I really wish they would have gotten engaged. Dang it. So anyways, kind of a bummer. I was really bummed about it. I'll talk more about it in another video. But I gave it a 1 out of 10. Okay, and the next show that I watched is actually a YouTube show called Provo's Most Eligible. This dating show is based around students in Provo, Utah going to BYU. It's just a little YouTube reality dating series, and if you want to watch it, there's 2 seasons on YouTube, Provo's Most Eligible. It's great, and this was like their third, it's not officially their third season, it's kind of a spin-off series called The Altar, and it was like a quick 1-day, 3 rounds to see who would match, kind of like a speed dating thing, to see who would be a good match to go on a date and be set up. Very entertaining, very interesting, and very cringy, and I loved it. So it was really fun. It came out like, the episodes came out every other day for like a week, and that was so fun to binge watch. So I gave it like a 7 out of 10. There were a few things I wish they would have done differently, and a few of the rounds that I felt like didn't make complete sense or allowed contestants to like fully explore the connection. But anyways, it was really good. Go watch it. It was great. I love cringy dating shows. That's something you should know about me. I love cringy dating shows. Okay, the next movie I watched is one of my favorite movies of all time, and that is Avengers Endgame. It is so good. It's my second favorite movie of all time. So you already know I rated this a 10 out of 10. It's so good. I actually genuinely believe it is flawless, except for one thing. There is like one thing that I have no idea about. Actually, 2. Yeah, 2 things. The first thing is when Steve, Captain America, is giving his like speech, like his pump-up speech before they time travel. He says, 1 round trip, no do-overs, and then he looks at Tony and he goes, whatever it takes. And I'm always like, we'll do it together, because I felt like it was a whole point in the movie in the beginning that, especially when Cap and Tony are reunited for the first time after Thanos wins, and Tony makes this whole point to say like, where were you? I needed you. We were supposed to do this together. So I just felt like that would have been a really good moment for Steve to look at Tony and say, together. But instead he goes, whatever it takes. And it just does not feel finished. So that's my first complaint with the movie. Second one is Nebula from the future gets captured by Thanos in the past, and he ends up time traveling right to the future. That's how the end battle starts. But I'm like, how? Because Nebula only had 1 Pym particle for her. And then he gives it to past Nebula, and Nebula time travels using the Pym particle. And then she opens the portal. But to shrink down, Thanos would have needed another Pym particle to shrink down and come through the portal that she opens. So how did he time travel? Like, that's my second question. If you know the answer, please let me know, because I wonder if, like, am I just supposed to, like, suspend disbelief that, like, maybe he manufactured a Pym particle because he has that technology? I don't know. It's my second favorite movie of all time. You think I should know the answer to this. I really should, but I don't. Anyways, those two things aside, like, I love this movie. It is a comfort movie for me, and I actually watched it on a day that I really needed a lot of comfort to remind me of my dad. We always called him Iron Man, and he was very funny and kind of had the same humor as Tony Stark. So I always watch it to kind of, like, remember him in the month of July. And it's just so good. I just love it. It's a comfort movie for me, and it's perfect. Except if you know the answer to those questions, please let me know in the comments. And the last TV show my husband and I watched in July was actually Star Wars: The Clone Wars Season 1. I am a diehard Star Wars fan, like diehard. And then I met my husband, and he was an even more diehard Star Wars fan than I was. And he has since converted me to all of the shows and things that he's watched. And now I am like a diehard Star Wars fan. I watched Clone Wars with him during COVID, and I just, like, fell in love with it, and fell in love with, like, the arc that it adds to Anakin's story. You just love Anakin so much. Anyways, so Clone Wars Season 1 we finished right at the end of July, and I give it like a 9 out of 10. It's amazing. I love Season 1 of Clone Wars, and I think you see a lot of, like, Anakin and Padme's development. I also love Ahsoka Tano. I love Ahsoka Tano so much. She is just one of my favorite characters in Star Wars, and it's, like, crazy to me to think, like, I would not know who she is had I not watched the Clone Wars. Anyways, it's just so good. The fact that Anakin has a Padawan and this whole added storyline that you really don't get to see in the prequel movies, it just adds so much to his fall to the dark side. So much of it makes more sense because there is a large time jump between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. And I feel like the Clone Wars really adds a lot of storyline and understanding to his fall. And I swear I will make a video on this, deep diving into Anakin's fall to the dark side, because it is just, like, mind-blowing. And there is someone in Star Wars who I think is the real villain of Star Wars, and it is not Darth Sidious / Emperor Palpatine. So I will just leave you with that. Just know that I have a lot of Star Wars videos coming because I am such a huge diehard fan, and I would like to deep dive into a lot of these characters' arcs and how symbolic and beautiful they are. So good. Anyways, Clone Wars Season 1, go watch it. Disney Plus, 9 out of 10. Okay, the last two movies that I watched in July are actually both Hallmark movies. It was Christmas in July and I had to celebrate, so we watched 2 Hallmark movies. We have Hallmark Plus. If you don't have Hallmark Plus, I honestly, like, highly recommend it. I love it. I love to turn Hallmark movies on in the background while I'm working, while I'm doing the dishes. They're just very calming, and I do like that they are predictable, like, plots. Like, I feel like in every Hallmark movie, it's like you have the meet cute, you have certain plot points that they hit, and it's just, like, very calming for me. Like, they're consistent, and I love that. Sometimes you just need some consistency. So anyways, the first movie we watched on Hallmark Plus was called 'Twas the Date Before Christmas, and I give it a 9 out of 10. This was a banger of a Hallmark movie. It was so good. So the premise of it is 2 strangers are set up on a blind date via a dating website because the girl needs someone to take to her family Christmas Eve day. They celebrate all day for Christmas Eve. And she needs someone to take, or else her family's gonna cancel it. Crazy. So she goes on a dating website and posts that she needs a blind date for this. This guy, who's kind of lonely, doesn't really have a lot of family, takes her up on the offer. So, and they meet that morning of Christmas Eve, and then he has to go and spend all of Christmas Eve with her family thinking that they are very seriously dating. It's hilarious and so good and enjoyable to watch. The only reason I marked it down a point is because the climax of the movie, where my husband and I always say, what's going to be the big fallout or the big misunderstanding in the Hallmark movie, because they need like one plot point like that. So the big fallout in this movie was he finds out something about the family and then ends up lying to them about what his career is, because it's going to affect the job of another person in the family. And the main girl, after like they're starting to fall in love, she kind of calls him out very angrily in front of the whole family, and I thought that was like not very tasteful. But at the same time, they met that morning, so it's kind of like, did she have that right? Kind of, because she wasn't really emotionally attached, but at the same time they were falling in love. Anyways, she just kind of like ousted him in the front of her whole family, and I just didn't love that. So it was a 9 out of 10. But other than that, like, it really was such an enjoyable watch, and the main characters are very likable. So go watch it. 'Twas the Date Before Christmas. The last movie I watched in the month of July was Blind Date Book Club, and I gave it an 8 out of 10. It was so good. Also on Hallmark Plus, and it stars Erin Krakow. She's like Hallmark royalty. And the main guy was also very likable in it, and he's an author. He comes to a small town, and she owns the bookstore there, and has kind of created this very successful program where they have a book club, and the book club is a blind date book club. So she will post the books in her store wrapped up so you don't know what they are, and write the synopsis. Anyone who buys the book gets to read it and then come to the book club the following week to discuss it with whoever else decided to buy it that week. So this author wants to break out of his current niche that he's in, but his publishing company doesn't want him to, so he travels to the small town to get his book in this blind date book club to get feedback. And anyways, they end up falling in love because she helps him kind of rediscover his love for writing and his inspiration. And it's just really good. It was really enjoyable. I didn't think it was like as lovable as the 'Twas the Date Before Christmas one, but it was still very good, and I do still highly recommend it. It just didn't hold my attention as well as the other one. And that is everything I watched in the month of July. It was a great month for watching movies. It was really busy because we had a lot of other things going on. So I don't feel like I watched like as many things in July, but I've already been watching some amazing things in August, and I cannot wait to review them in next month's video. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss it, because I will be reviewing K-pop Demon Hunters, the it movie of the summer that came out of nowhere, no marketing, but it has taken over the world by storm. So I will be reviewing that in my August monthly rewatch video, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. And we also have some very, very fun videos coming out very soon. If you have any recommendations of things you want me to watch in August or you want me to review, leave it in the comment section below. I would love to know, and I love to take suggestions for great things to watch. So give me some suggestions in the comments, and I will try to watch it this month in August and review it in my video. So please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to be notified of future videos. Thank you so much for being here. You're amazing, and I appreciate you so much. We are also officially on the road to 100 subscribers. So please share my channel with people you love and have them subscribe. When we get to 100 subscribers, I don't know, I'll do something fun. I'll have to brainstorm. Anyways, I will see you next week on Pass the Popcorn.